So we'll pick the time group because that's what we'll be using for this time group. So let me check this. Time group services hours. Where is total crown legend and some of the people involved. Now we do not really have a column for hour. Can create that here on the crimes table. Can create a new column to convert this crime date time to hours. So say crime hour converting crime time. Okay. So time group is on x-axis. Time group is actually the legend, while x-axis is the hour. What was the hour? Time hour. Let's make sure that this is not summarized. Okay. And size of people, size is number of people involved. Number of people involved beyond that person. We have two number of people involved. So make sure that we are using the right number of people involved. So we have this number of people. So we are using that of crimes and not of this one. Okay. Now let's check that of our okay. X-axis hour. Axis total crimes. And legend is time group. Total crimes. That this is actually summarizing people involved. Let's change that to our initial. Okay, let's check where the issue is coming from. Because it's not giving us the same results. It's this. This is not summarizing, but I can't find that here. I can't seem to find that here. It's hour. So let's change the sum of crime to and summarize. Okay, this is what I've been looking for. So this is it. So we're going to use the same format, same background on this. Okay, I don't want changes in color. We can turn off the grid lines. Okay, maybe let's leave the grid line and let's do it a little formatting. Um, let's turn on the reference line. Give us an average, add a line, an average line. Let's call it average line. The line, put a little shade over the line. Yeah. So turn on the data label. Let the line be also so the style data value wants both data value and name. I call it average, not average line, please. Average. Now let's take it to the right. Okay. So what's the title for this? We call it Does Time of Crime Impact the Weight of Crime? Does time of crime impact the weight of crime? Does time of crime impact weight of crime? So this is it. Now, if you notice on this previous dashboard, there is a tooltip and a drill through. There is a drill through here. Showcase it. This detail. Okay. No crime happened here, unfortunately. Go back. So we went to the number of people involved and crime severity by time group. So that's the true. We're going to duplicate that here for this particular one. So that's a page information as a drill. So I do it through by day. Okay. Now what do you want here? Want crimes, a number of people involved. Number of people involved from the crime person, the, the crimes. The number of people involved in each crime. We have we're going to use the same format. So I would like to copy this. Take it to that there. I use the format and this. So there we will turn off, change the data labels values. None. Okay. So I'm going to remove this. So I'll put a line chart. Line chart. Time group. Time group. Total crimes. Format this. One of the salaries. Okay. Now let's bring out a matrix that will show the total crimes, people involved, persons, name, and so the column should be crime row. Yeah, sorry, crime row. So that means a person can be an offender in one crime, maybe the next crime, person could be the victim. So let's turn off the totals. Let's format this line charts, the line. Tabulation, smooth, shaded area, sanity mark. And a little bit of color. Okay. Let's check how it is. Okay. So this the card. What layout of the card is okay. Yeah. It's the layout and style. Now let me check the layout of this particular one so that's a little bit fast. The layout. It's alternating rows. So I have alternating rows. So we can so the text color is white. The background color is that color. Alternating, still dark color. Okay, I don't know how it is here. Alternating color should be something this. It's a bit like that. It's white. Then the text color is still white. Let's look at this one. So we have this. Now our canvas background should be our color I've been using. Color of the transparency. I have this. I'm supposed to have this. I have this. So first, turn on the card. That will show us the day, month, and total crime. Let's format it. Don't need the border. Don't need the grid line. background. So let's increase the fonts. The accent bar. Check the callouts. And 6. Double. Let's check this. This. Let's check where I'm not getting it right. Okay. Let me stay. Okay. Let's change the page information. Stay and more. Okay. The two page should be working on this. Oh, let's turn it on and see. There is no utility. Why is the value not showing? Let's check that. Mhm. So let me check the page information, month, name, and date. Okay. So it's not working. how it should work. So this should be working. Let's see why it's not working. Yeah. Let's see if we can make this two tip on, but this is not a two tip page. Okay, so we need to turn the two tip first. Going to drilling through on page two. I'm going through Monday. The events occurred on Monday. This value. I'm going to use this format. That's format. Category head down. Accent bar should be color. So check the label. Can't get city. Okay. Thank you. Let's check the color image reference label. check the pattern. These ones are so let's check. We want to make sure that the title shows. To make sure the title shows. Call out. So our call out is not really showing the call out, not showing the day. That's where we're having the issue. Some values. Interesting. So the call out is on values, the day. It should be this color. And bottom. I don't know. Let's use this format. So I'm going to use this format in here. Okay. So we're going to rename this as day, not first day. Let's format this a little bit as the formatting has changed. Turn off the background. The multiple layout. Turn off. So we need the background. So we need to put this background or our normal background. The color is changing. So let's check the color of this. I'll probably copy it. So here, I'm going to paste it here. So on the accent color, accent color, So under we'll change it to lighter shade. So the value of the callouts okay. Let's reduce this 24 review. So let's copy it and so this should be month. Month name. Rename this as months. So this one is number of people involved. Total crimes rather. Total crimes. Okay. Okay. So we are going to name this crime analysis reports. I'm going to copy this. I'll test it here. Inside it. So let's turn background off. And this should be white. So we have the group page. Now, if we click on any of these, the grid will show, and we'll have this. You can go back here. So we can go back here. And we can rename this crime details. So this scatter plot has a tooltip on our initial dashboard. As a tooltip. If you hover around this, you see the tooltip effect will show. So we are going to do this. Now, we go over to this. So let's label this correctly. This should be number of people involved in crime. This one is crime severity by time group. This one is number of people involved in a crime. So let's design the tooltip page. Click on new page. Under the canvas format, go to page information, take tooltip now, not directory, tooltip. Now, most times this tooltip page tends to be small. So I'll hover around there and see. I can change it back, make it a little bit bigger. Interesting. Let's do this. So the tooltip shows, but we'll copy this. We're going to replicate this stuff. So we also need to calculate a measure that would show, because here on these tooltip details, we have crime severity and clearance rate. So we need to calculate clearance rate. And this measure is clearance rate, the resolved cases divided by total crimes. So we calculate that. Clearance rate the record divide function resolved cases divided by total crimes. So this will give us the clearance rate. So we need to make sure that this tooltip increases in size. Sometimes it goes back, sometimes it doesn't. Okay, let's show the value. So we are going to use this line and start column chart to show the total crimes. Now this here we are showing the violence. Total crimes, clearance rates. Oh, I'm going to highlight this first. Total crimes, clearance rates, and crime rows. The rows column. That is what we have. So I want a situation where this space, so will be big. Let me copy. I'm going to copy this. Let me see what will happen. So, let me see what happens when I create another page. I'm going to work it as the standard page before I convert it so that to give me all the axes I'm looking for. I'm going to repeat this. Crime rows. Total crimes and clearance rates. So this should be the crimes, actually not the row, the crime itself. So what the visual that I selected is this. So the clearance rate should be on the y-axis, line y-axis. So I drag it and put it there. That is what we have as it should be. Because I do not want this to so this is better. So I'm going to press it. That visual that will help me to format this. So when I'm done, I can now delete this. So let me format this. So this should be the line color would be orange and a linear interpolation. Now going over to the legend. So let's increase kind of the title, turn the color to white and change this to Vadana. So now the next thing we need to do is I'm going to copy this from the grid to okay. Now I'm going to paste it. So what I want, I'm going to change this to time group. This now should be a time group. The time group is under crimes. So this is exactly what we are going to rename this as time group. Okay, what other thing was there? Time group and total crimes. So yes. Oh, okay. This is total crimes. Total crimes. We also need to format it so that the value will not be showing author. The value for the total crimes should be none. And the label, I think how I did it before, it should be orange also. This should also be orange. Okay, so the next thing is next thing is a map that would show areas of concentration. So let me change the canvas background to so this is what we have. I'm putting on the map. To be the map. So we only have latitude and longitude on the map. Latitude and the longitude. So let's format the map. Map settings. So once it's darker shade. And put a control zoom button. Okay. So the bubbles, we're going to change the color to our normal color. Yeah, show me the color. Okay. So this is what we have. So for the map, some of the background. So the title is location of crime. Pradana, white. Turn on the bubble subtitle. Now, the bubble indicates severity of crimes in a location. The bubbles size of first to the severity of crime in a location. In a location. In a location. So let's change the color. White. Now let's change the page orientation. I hope it changes now to a tooltip. Okay. So moving over to this visual, we'll turn on the tooltip from the properties, the options. The page is page 3. We are not using page 2 again, page 3. So I'm going to delete this page. So name this page 3 as tooltip details. And let's hover around. Okay. Oh wow. Tends to decrease and increase when you hover around it. Okay, this is what we have for the breakthrough. This is how it works. Now let's format the top. Oh, now let's rename this to crime analysis. So I just have to copy the first. Just copy this. I'm going to paste it here. Yeah, because it's not working because of a value, because of the automatic value, or rather the dynamic value that I inserted. Let me just copy it. Let me in the text box. Paste it. So I need to make this background turn off the background and make the right top white. But following this value is supposed to be, this value is supposed to be dynamic. So I'm going to calculate its clearance rate. So we're going to use this value, dynamic value, to calculate it. How would you calculate this value? You want the clearance that we did, resolved cases, resolved cases divided by total background. So I need to go back and change this to percent. I'll calculate this back and change it to percent. Resolved cases divided by total crimes. This, close the brackets, scroll down, put in a percentage. So this should be dynamic now. If I change the years, changes. So I'm going to change the color for this to orange. Now let's format the slicer. Turn off the background first. So this is select here. Let's change it to white. So let's make this top. So let's go down to top. Let's go down to slicer setting. Okay, multi-button layouts. Okay. Oh, the cap. Oh, the gap is okay. And the callouts, all buttons. The value. Orange. Let's check the buttons. Oh, no, this is not what we did here. No. I think we'll move on with this. So we can now put an information icon and also filter icon. But before then, let's put a filter icon. Press the insert buttons. Put information. I'll put it here. So I've already created an information icon. So let's import the image. An image. So turn it on. Go to action and upload. Sorry, the style. That's the image. And upload. So that's how you can actually reach these charts. This report is how you can actually read the report. Now let's need to put a bookmark. I'll actually show it perfectly. So uh, it's information. I'll add it as close information. Now, before you add it as the bookmark, turn it off first. Call it close information. Information. So I'm now going to add it to our book, our action. Click on the icon, on the action on under format thing. I scroll down to the type. I want it to be a bookmark. So the bookmark, call it information. So typically when I click on this, this should show. If I click on the image, disappear. should disappear. Otherwise, it's redirecting us to it's redirecting to the read-through page. That is not what we want. Let's bring back the selection. Okay, let's put it as a bookmark too. But now put it as close information. Should be when we click on it, should now turn up. Okay, perfect. So when we click on this one, shows when we click on the image, goes out. So how do you do it? Especially on the one on this image, you have to turn on the action and choose close information here under the format, turn on the action, type bookmark, choose the bookmark of close information. So when you click on the image, it goes off. So we also need to put a clear slicer button, which is also should be an image. So this should be a clear slicer first. I need to remove every filter here. So add a bookmark. Add the bookmark. Of clear slicer. Now, if I format that, I'll turn on the action, scroll down to type, call it a bookmark. The bookmark is clear slicer. Now, if I filter any year, I click on this, it's going to return exactly as to clear all filters. So basically, that is how to create the crime analysis reports. I'm going to shift this a little bit so that it's going to correspond with. Okay, perfect. So this is basically how we created this crime analysis report. For the sake of transporting it or publishing it to our Power BI service, I need to hide this.